Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday, this June 9th day of summer. We're almost in summer, coming live to you from San Diego. I'm the host, Kathryn Nunez of The Art of Inspired Selling, where I interview successful entrepreneurs that can bring information to you in this almost over pandemic, where you can take some nuggets and some wisdom and implement it in your day-to-day routine, day-to-day business, day-to-day life, so that you don't just survive in the new normal, but you actually thrive. So as everybody knows, the social selling agency is down with personal branding. It comes from my backstory of being in corporate America for over 30 years, and I tended to measure my success to that of the corporation that I was working with or to my bank account. And that, for me, ended up in some fails and also in some heartbreaks when the company decided that they no longer needed my division or they no longer needed my services as a result of an acquisition or a pivot in their business. And I decided that building my personal brand was so important, so that as a result of building that brand, I had choices. I stood for something. I built my subject matter expertise, and I was able to stay an entrepreneur, become a speaker, or even have better choices for an employer in the future. So that's what I want for you, the audience, today. And I have brought to you my next guest, who is Deidre Wright, who is a personal brand expert. She's an award-winning executive, startup advisor, and corporate visibility coach. She helps professionals brand themselves as experts to increase visibility, advance careers, and attract clients. And let me tell you, when you build your personal brand and you speak to your target market, you attract the people you're supposed to be working with because they resonate with the messaging that you send out to the world. Deidre's spoken over 40 times on TV, podcasts, and at events as a public speaker. Features include Essence.com, Savoy Magazine, and 4 viral LinkedIn posts. Please show me those when we talk. That's a high five right there, girlfriend. Receiving 22,000 and 95,000 views. Previously, she was the Director of Engagement and Marketing for Business Insurance Magazine, organizing events, booking speakers, and judging award nominations to promote diversity and inclusion. Before that, serving as a commercial insurance broker at Marsh and Aon for household brands and billion-dollar companies. So as always, this live stream encourages you to ask questions, to engage. We'll bring you on, we'll mention, we'll give you a shout out. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest, Deidre Wright.
Thank you for the intro, Kathryn. It's really good to be here.
You're so welcome. Let me make us bigger.
Wow. Yeah. In your face.
Don't move. You know, they say stand still. I can't stand still. I'm all over the place when I talk. So welcome to the Art of Inspired Selling. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a guest today. And let's just get started. Tell me where you're coming live today from.
I'm from the Bay Area. I'm in California, enjoying this beautiful day. And, I really love, like I said, for someone who's from the Bay Area, the weather is great now, spring-like, and I hope that you're having a good time. Where are you based?
San Diego.
So even better weather.
Beautiful today. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And so every guest that I bring on the show, my opening question is, what inspires you to do what you do? What helps you get out of bed every morning, continue to be an entrepreneur, and continue to drive forward in your business? Do you have some mantra? Do you have a morning routine? Do you have a book? What inspires you to do what you do?
Yeah, I would say source, spirit, God, whatever you say, call him, her, whatever. That inspires me. The God-given talents and gifts I have, the challenges I've received over time that help mold me to who I am today. So to use those testimonies to help others live their best life and best careers and best businesses, that's what inspires me. Also, I'm a mother, so my son does too. But honestly, I say source, spirit, that God is what inspires me.
Scarcity mindset around feedback, because an employee review is almost set up to tear people down instead of build them up, right? They just managers just get through it quickly to check the box, to just, especially if there's some sort of a jealousy thing with the management, who knows what it is, right? But just those reviews help foster that fear. Just like for me, when I go to a parent teacher conference, I'm just like, what did I do wrong? Like anything they say about my kid. But that's the same thing. I'm wondering if that same bad habit for me was coming from corporate reviews, where they were just looking for things to light into me, where I might have exceeded my quota, but let's find one thing bad to say about a person. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. I'm brainstorming here with you.
But that's the thing, and that's something that I have to. You're talking about first steps. Yes, I help people with tactics and strategies, and I help them secure speaking opportunities or brand opportunity or create yes, I can do that. But the very first thing, like I said, is really shaping their mindset. I had to learn, because my goal is I'm going to help people get more visible. I was all focused on the external, the accolades, the shiny things, names getting quoted, and like that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But really, I found through this process, a lot of my clients come out more confident afterwards. They're like, hey, because of this, I know myself. I feel confident. I'm more energized. I'm actually manifesting things I want, like dream jobs, dream opportunity, awards, like amazing things. But I actually am happy with myself. And so the first thing is really get your mindset around that. You are worthy of being visible and being valued. If you can't get across that point, nothing will make you happy, because even if you get the awards and accolades, you still won't love yourself enough to be grateful for them.
You'll still have imposter syndrome. Like there just must not have been any competition, or, I must have just been good that day or something, right? Yeah. I mean, I've done it. I said it myself, like, why do you want me? Like, what have I done that makes you want to pick me out of 27.1 million people on LinkedIn? Like, me?
Yeah. And that's when the next step is the credibility part. So the next step, credibility. Once we get past the defining your success and who you are, getting clarity around that, let's really communicate your credibility. One, you need to gain confidence that I am worthy and know what you're bringing to the table. And then two, how do you communicate to others in an authentic way that showcases your full spectrum? Like I said, other clients. So I serve people in all industries, which makes my job really fun, but we really help them brand themselves as experts. I had a client of mine who is an artist, multidisciplinary artist. She's been in galleries, exhibitions. She's also a spiritual coach, a life coach. She's led ceremony for big conferences and big local events out here in the Bay Area. And so I get her bio, we're working on her bio. Let's revise your bio so that you can start public speaking and doing things. My first version I got, said a couple things, but then I've actually digged into her information. Oh, she's been published twice. She led all these major ceremonies in the Bay Area. She worked with large companies. And I'm like, who is this woman? She's like, I don't know. I don't tell people about this. I'm like, if you don't tell people about this, how can you help others? Because part of you telling your story is to show people, one, what's possible. Two, your value and credibility, so they'll want to work with you and want to send you opportunities. And then also just to showcase the spectrum of who you are as a person. So once you get to that point where, okay, I want this for myself, I want to be successful. Now, how do I know my value? How to communicate this in a place where I feel it's authentic? I don't feel the mindset that I'm bragging. I don't feel ashamed. And then people can clearly say, oh, snap, I resonate with that. And I want to either refer you business or work with you myself.
Yeah. And I think if I use the word ego, people tend to believe ego means bragging, versus ego is stepping into who you are and who you were meant to be, and then owning it, right? And taking that forward to mentor people, to attract people, to take your skills and find your why of what it is that you want to do to make the world a better place, or whatever, right? Whatever their why, their big giant why is, has to be bigger than the ego. What you think of the ego, right?
It's so important. So like when you talk about who do we work with, I only work with VIPs, valued, impactful professionals. So someone who has a skill or trait of a value, or passion that they care about. Impact, like you actually want to use your talents and skills to serve others, whether it's your community, your industry, or just other people. And then professional, like how are you doing this? I mean, like you literally can be a coach, you can be a preacher, you can do whatever, but it's like value, impactful professional. Like we have to think about things bigger than ourselves. Otherwise, there is no drive. A lot of people are successful on paper, but feel empty because they don't think about what's my impact for my legacy. Who do I want to be known for? And one of the best exercises I do with clients is literally write out like at least write out 10 accomplishments you made in the last 5 days. Even that is like, hey, I stuck to my health and wellness goals. I've called my mother, I haven't talked to her all day. I wrote a really good content on LinkedIn. People loved it. Like, write some things you're good at and be grateful for, like, oh my God, like, this is me. And so when someone asks you, how's your day, what you've been up to, then I want you to share, hey, recently I've done this. Share one of your bragging points to get used to speaking about yourself in a way of that's powerful, but also can help you get more referrals and introductions to people who actually want your services.
Yes. Clarity breeds confidence, right? Confidence, focus. You can open up when you start to talk about your passions and things that are bigger than you. I see it day after day after day with all of the client interviews and discovery calls. I was speaking to a woman yesterday and she was talking about what she did. And then we kind of switched to who she was. And it was this to this in the camera. I'm like, I said, I wish you could just see the body language shift that I just saw and how you lit up in talking about what who you serve versus just the things you do to put money or to put food on the table. It's really different. If you could line those two together to move forward, it just is such an aha moment, and someone like Deidre can help you do that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's actually part of the process. It's like, I ask people, who are you? The first thing they tell me is the title. I'm like, forget the title. What will you be known for no matter what job? I always say, like, whether you're working at McDonald's or in a boardroom or astronaut or artist, like, there's some core things you do. Like, for me, I'm a storyteller, I'm a problem solver, and that's typically who I am. I'm a strategist. I basically solve problems and I tell stories. I don't care. I've been an insurance broker. What did I do? I solve problems with people who have risk management, and I told the stories to underwriters to get them insurance. I worked in marketing, so I did that for McKesson, the healthcare company. I do what I do now. I solve problems for clients, either attract clients or attract careers, and I help them brand themselves. So I say this because we get so caught up on titles. It's like, but who are you? What do you want to be known for? Forget the title and remember yourself. Be like, I think about you. I think you are a communicator. You communicate ideas. You connect people to resources. Like, that's what I think about you, Kathryn. I know you have a title, other things, but it's like, who are we essentially, and what do we want to be known for, and have people come to us for?
Communication is so important to me, right? And putting people together and helping people be able to articulate, same thing, communicate their own internal just wow. I love the aha. I love it when I work with somebody and I see them going from really vulnerable to unstuck and their eyes open and they just like, it's just amazing. I mean, I think that's one of the favorite things I've had in my 30 years of career is coaching sales representatives and seeing them succeed, and now coaching solopreneurs and seeing them open up, gain that clarity, gain the confidence, and then move forward in their business. It's just amazing. And they say, how did you do that? I'm like, I just listened to you and fed it back to you. You told me what it was. I just helped you see it. Maybe it's a communicator with a really good mirror.
Yeah, well, I say that because, okay, you guys listening, you see that way Kathryn speaks about herself, what she does. Doesn't that energy just sound, it's magnetic. And the thing is, I think when I speak about what I do, how do I have it so it's a magnetic message to attract dream opportunities? How do I get people invested in seeing the vision? Yes, I help people, but it's what the result is, they are leaving more confident. They're leaving more clear. They're able to secure dream opportunities. They're getting paid off of talents they've been doing for free for years. These are the things that people do when we work together. It's amazing, but it's not about, okay, like, the motions of it's X amount of coaching sessions, it's this and that. It's like, no, what is the transformation? Why are we doing what we do? And it's like, if we don't have a why, can't explain that, then we got to really dig back to, are we doing our given job? And I don't believe that everyone has to do work that they're passionate about, but we just need to have a why for what we do. I have a job I'm not passionate about, but it funds my dreams. And so I do it, and I do it with gratitude. You got to think about that way. Right. It doesn't always have to be the passion project that thrills you, but you got to be clear on what my goals are and how am I going to best attract opportunities that I want with my talents that I have right now.
And I'm a very big proponent in having your values out. And then I was just telling Deidre before this, I might have a brain fog. I'm having one right now. A personal mission statement. Understanding your personal mission statement and looking at it frequently. Like, why did I just say I do what I do? What are the most important things for me? And what am I going to steer clear of to watch pitfalls that I might fall into, right? What am I going to do to mitigate that? And then am I leaning into it in all areas of my life? It doesn't have to be, that I interviewed Ivan Meisner, who's the founder of BNI, and we talked about not looking for balance in life, but looking for harmony. So what does harmony look like if you have to put something in a shape, if you have to put it in a circle, and you don't, people want to quadrant things, but what does harmony look like today? And also it's relating, I talk with a lot of women in sales, female entrepreneurs. I've been a single mom forever. And so I do things that other people might think are horrible. But you know what? When I am a single mom with 2 young kids and I just traveled the world, picked them up from somewhere off the side of the road to go home, that TV is a babysitter for about 2 hours so that I could maybe take a bubble bath or unpack and just breathe for a minute. It's not such a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, I'm a single mom, so I relate and I get that. And I think the thing is, we as people, no matter what our background, we got to let go of shame. I think there's a lot of shame and judgment on ourselves, on other people, what things should be. If we are focused on ourselves, we should be happy. Like, let's focus more on us. Like, okay, something might trigger you. Like, oh, can you believe that person's bragging over there? Is it the fact that people are bragging, or is it that you're uncomfortable with talking about your own self, or you're uncomfortable being, I think it's like, we have to think like, what are our triggers and what do we want? And you're right. It's about harmony, of like harmonizing. That's like my next point of like my process is networking. It's like, once I understand what success is, once I understand my value, how do I connect the dots to invite people to work with me? And I think that's the harmony where it's like, okay, if I know I want a new job in a certain area, how do I want to plan my way to learn about that market, and plan my way that I'm going to brand my expertise and skills and make myself look at the top count? And then how do I introduce myself to people who can either hire me or refer me to jobs, and say, hey, that might be going outside your comfort zone of like, and connecting with people on LinkedIn saying, can I have a coffee chat with you for 15 minutes on Zoom? Or literally go into your network saying, hey guys, I'm looking for a job. I'm not happy right now. Does anyone have any leads? Like, it's us harmonizing our desires and getting real about what you have to do, what risks you have to take to really put myself out there to attract and get what I want. I really believe in speaking your success into existence. If you literally don't speak or write about what you want, you're not going to attract it.
Exactly. Law of attraction. But we won't get into that because that's controversial. All right.
Oh, well, okay. Well, controversy or not, I think the thing of like I said, it's a lot of judgment. I think we do a lot of the same things. You call it law of attraction. I call it networking. We call it manifesting. It's called goal setting. I think at the end of the day, I don't care what you call it, but we have to be building relationships no matter what we're doing. So if that means you actually meet people within your community, whether you go to like a gym or a church or whatever, or you literally going on stage or a podcast, meet people. It's like, just start building relationships and tell people who you are and what you do. And if someone's interested, they will say, hey, I'm interested in learning more. Can we have a call, or can I book a service?
Yes.
That's how it goes. It's not that complicated to me.
Yes. Well, you are a natural networker. Some people aren't, right? Some people, let's talk about LinkedIn for 1 second. People build connections on LinkedIn and then they never speak to them again. Mm-hmm. Or I have a large network on LinkedIn, and if I reach out to them or maybe I put a copy to my blog, that's communicating, written communication. And somebody might say, you're spamming me. Like, why are you on a network like LinkedIn? This is a professional networking place. Like, I want to share my subject matter expertise. I want to criticize it if you want, but I just get amazed that you can network and connect, unfriend people that aren't supportive, that don't want to interact with you, that don't want to engage. That's the whole reason for being on LinkedIn, right? Is people want to work with people. People want to network with people. They want to find out about things. And if you don't accept that message, as long as people aren't spamming and selling and throwing up in the inbox, then you should be open for it and just supportive of the people that are in your network, because you might have an ask for them in the future.
And that's the thing. I think a key thing is don't spam people. I'm all about attraction marketing or whatever. I will say be more of service than you. And it literally can be DMs, or will you talk to people, or it's like, just be of service. I think a lot of us get into the networking of, I don't want to be a mooch. It's like, well, just give. If you're saying, hey, I have some advice, go check out my live where I'm teaching you how to brand yourself for success. Like, that's a give versus saying you have to register. Like, if people want to register, they will. If they don't, they won't. But at least invite people saying, hey, if you're interested, here it is. And then leave it at that. Do not bother them. But at the same time, if you don't ever share what you're doing, you can't be of service.
Right. Exactly. Sales as well. All right. So we talked about personal branding to attract your dream client or your dream career. Clarity first about what you're wanting, right? You can't attract it unless you state it. And how about gaining confidence in your credibility as an expert? That's kind of what we were talking about, right? Imposter syndrome. But how do you gain that confidence? Do you have some things that you take people through to gain confidence and confidence exercise? I want to hear about it.
Yeah. And so, like I said, that's really in the credibility aspect. And it's really being true about, like, what have I done that demonstrates that I'm a successful person? And I say that everyone's an expert, whether it's like my son's not an expert in tying his shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has expertise. It's like, you got to start with what we're good at. I think a lot of us start with like what we're deficient at. Oh, well, I'm not the best speaker, or I'm not the best with numbers. No one asks about that. What are you good at?
Right.
Let's start with that. I feel like we try to do struggle. I need us to think more like, how do we simplify success? And so I say that, like, literally, it might be like, have clients find their resumes, find all the materials, feedback, and like compile that and like write out like, what is my story?
And if you guys are watching this, we seem to, there's somebody on Facebook watching. If you want to drop, just to call it out, if you want to drop in the chat, or if you're watching this over replay, drop in, be public today. Drop in the chat, what are you good at? Let's hear it. Let's celebrate you. This is an evergreen show. It's going to be out on all the different channels. Drop in the chat something that you are good at. So, Deidre, give me yours, and I'm going to type it in here because I'm going to state it for the world to see. What's one thing that you feel that you're very good at?
Seeing the potential within people.
Ooh.
Like, I'm really good at, I mean, sometimes it's bad because I see more potential than I actually see evidence. You know, back old days, I would kiss a lot of the frogs, but I always can see the potential in people, whether from a professional aspect, the artistic. I just see it. I don't know. I have that skill.
Are you a magician archetype? Have you done your personal brand archetype?
No, I have to do.
Yes, I'll drop the link for you. One of my good friends, Dre Beltrami, I use her personal brand archetype. So unique value proposition. That's what I do differently. So I really get into the psychology of the person, and then I work more in the marketing messages, right? For communication again. So the magician brand archetype sees things that other people don't. And so it's just like you have that little wispy ball, and you can even see it when they're talking. What I was just saying, like, people are saying, how did you know that? I'm like, you said it. I saw it. I heard it. I pulled it out of you. So you have that same skill set. So it'd be interesting to see if we have the same brand archetypes. You're a magician with an outlaw voice. It's a dangerous combination.
And we'll see that. I guess I have to ask you, what are you good at?
Well, I like to know how I show up. So if I'm showing up as a communicator, then I'm going to lean into that. In communicating with other people, in networking with other people. I am so good right now at when I do a clarity questionnaire or a discovery questionnaire, and somebody fills it out, and I'm like, that's not my zone of genius. But guess what? In my Rolodex, I have 3 people I'm going to refer to you for each of the areas where you have goals. And when you have those goals accomplished, come back to me and let's see if we can work on the next round of goals. Ooh. So I'm good at saying no now because I've gone down a few rabbit holes lately, but being able to say no and then being a good communicator. I love that. I'm going to put that down as mine.
Yeah, that's love. I mean, everyone, we have to work on boundaries. And I mean, I think that's what it is. And so that's why we have to really be clear about. And so if you want to gain confidence in who you are and your credibility, like I said, research and find the facts that says what you accomplished. Also ask friends or get feedback from people you trust. Mm-hmm. And honor their feedback, meaning like when they say, oh, you're good at this, don't say, oh, no, I'm not. Because that's teaching people not to compliment you. That's teaching people not to be honest with you. If you want to teach people to lie to you, deny that. But you have to, if you don't believe it, solicit feedback and that'll help you out. And I say that because a lot of times we have facts that share that, oh, I made X amount of money. I know salespeople, it's numbers. You can't deny numbers. If you have good numbers. Like I literally talked to a colleague of mine because we're talking about me doing a speaking engagement for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like made almost $1 million in new business this year. And I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, you need to nominate yourself for an industry award because we need to see more, honestly, women of color like you, like getting awards or whatever. And I think that's amazing. Like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm like, $1 million I think that's something worth you getting an award from. It's like you're credible. And so I say this because even when you have the numbers or facts in front of us, sometimes we need that support buddy to really say, hey, you're worth it. Go bet on yourself. You're good. So that's what I say. Either find your own facts or ask feedback from other people.
Yes. One totally separate subject. We'll get into that another time. But one of the things that women and women in sales are asking for is for sponsorship and mentorship. So if you have a good sponsor or you have a good mentor, they can help put that mirror to you and show you what you're really doing well. Right. And you might not know what the next bar is or where you need to go, but those people will help you and they can sponsor you and help you get to where you want to go. So that's a totally separate subject. Come talk to us at NAWSP. We can work on that with you. So let's go to the third thing because we're going to just about to wrap our conversation where we were talking about the 4 steps to creating a powerful personal brand. We put those in here. Was that part of it? The clarity, credibility, network, and brand?
So let's, if we can, get to the branding part. So like I said, once we define success in our terms, then we communicate our value, and then we actually found success supporters, people who actually want to ride and die for our dreams. Like I said, those could be sponsors, those could be clients, those could be
I love that. Success supporters. I'm going to write that down.
Okay. Yeah. So success supporters. I think of us we think network is like mooching, but it's like who's really going to support your success? Are people called their ideal client avatar? Who's their niche area of focus? That is a key thing, and be really clear about that. And so I have people say, oh, I want women between the ages of 18, 20. I'm like, no. Who's a type of person? I'm like, okay, is this, let's say someone, if it's their artist, or I know one of my clients is a jeweler. She welds jewelry and is an artist. She's really talented. And she's like, okay, I want to do California styles, my style. I'm like, okay, cool. But is it like you like sustainable fashionistas? Because part of what you do is recycle, nature, not part of nature to make your jewelry and your artwork. Like, it's not just about the demographics. Like, who are the people who actually inspired by your vision? Like I said, for her, it's sustainability. It's those who understand and love and appreciate California's beauty naturally as well as, culturally. That's a whole different thing. So you got to think like, who are those people? It's like, lastly, it's how do I brand myself as a VIP? That's the branding part, or build the VIP reputation. That could be through different distribution channels, literally networking, just meeting a new person on LinkedIn a day and actually taking the time saying, hey, I want to talk to you, inviting to a Zoom and getting to know them. That could be creating content on social media. That can be public speaking at events. That could be anything you want to do. The key thing I tell clients is like, stick to whatever medium is what you love to do. What can you do daily and not run out of energy? So if that's speaking, do speaking. Is that writing? Do writing, but do something daily. And what you're introducing people to who you are and what you stand for and what you got to offer in a way that actually energizes you and doesn't drain you.
Right. And also, if daily is too much and it's making you stuck, then maybe let's go to every other day as a start, right? Yeah. But the point is just do something and just do it with consistency and conviction, because just thinking about it is not going to move the needle forward.
Right. Or even setting up systems. I think it's like, if you don't want to do a daily activity, do you have a calendar scheduler to schedule your networking meetings? Set that aside. Is that you having a what's it called? The signature at the bottom of your email saying, hey, I do this. Here's my contact information. Like, I think it's different. Your profiles on your social media, it's everything about you and your reputation. It doesn't have to always be an activity, but do you have systems in place to brand you while you're sleeping so people can know who you are and what you have to offer while you're not in the room? That's what really branding is. It's not about always physically being there. It's like, how do I build a reputation that is sought after, always in demand, that attracts and magnetizes people?
I love that. All those words, you guys. Watch the replay. And a lot of good nuggets dropped here. Those of you that tuned in, thank you so much. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, I see you there. You're live. This show will be housed on all of those platforms, and I'll figure out why it's not live on LinkedIn, and we'll fix it. And if not, we'll put a link and we'll repurpose it, because at the Social Selling Agency, that's what we do. We also take macro content, we chop it up into micro content, and we give you back assets that you can use to be visible and to attract your target market. So we help you with that branding. Thank you so much, Deidre, for being here. How can people find you? We did put it in the show notes, but what if somebody wants to talk to you, if somebody wants to look at your work, if they're stalking you on social media, what's the best platform? You want me to direct them to your profile on LinkedIn?
Yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. That's a good place to start, whether it's us becoming friends, us working together. I do a lot of public speaking for organizations. I coach people individually. I do a lot of things, but let's just get to meet each other and then see if there's opportunities to collaborate. Find me at my profile. Deidre Wright's my name. I can't wait to meet you.
Okay, it's there. It's in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, next week, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. I have had a lot of clients ask me about duplicity of content. So if they write a blog, they've done all this work, right? And they're like done now. It was all they could do to get one blog written for the month. And they are afraid to maybe take that blog and reposition it to a LinkedIn article, or to take that blog and put it on Medium. They want to know, is there going to be an SEO penalization for that? How do I best reposition the whole form of content? What is it? What's canonical tagging? How do I best refer things back to the original place of content? So I believe next week we're going to have a panel discussion around that, because we want you guys to just get consistent with producing your content. At this point, don't worry about where you're duplicating it, but we want you to get started on the right foot so that you can create content once and publish it 10x. So then you put more energy into that macro piece of content. So join us next week when I bring on those guests and we talk about that. I'm in the room to keep it not so technical. But Deidre, thank you so much, everybody. Give her a shout out on social media. Look at her profile on LinkedIn. Connect with her. Hire her for your personal brand coach. Let's get that done.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Stay on as I end the stream. Thanks, you guys. See you soon.